and welcome to All Things Faith, Love and Purpose. As you can see by the description box, today we're talking about why I took a gap year and started my own NGO, which is called Queen Mentality. So before we got started, I asked a few people to tell me their definition of what purpose is. Let's have a look at that and then we'll be back with the chat.
So, what is purpose? Purpose for me really is the reason for existence. I like what the book of Jeremiah says, where God says, before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew you. In simple terms, I had a purpose for you. So purpose is not a gift. The minute you were born, you were given to the purposes because it existed before you did. And I think one way obviously to find our purpose is by seeking the one that created our purpose, which is God. And then when we live a life that is in line with the purpose, we are enabled, or rather we are guaranteed to live a purpose-driven life. We're guaranteed to live a life that is fulfilled. We're guaranteed to have the capacity and the capability to expand our own territories. So purpose is who we are.
I think it starts out with basically what your viewpoint of life is. So I think if there's like a deeper meaning or motivation in terms of, let's say, either religion or whatever your belief is. So I think if you're a child of God, obviously your purpose starts with that, and your viewpoint of why you've been created and why you've been placed on this planet. So yeah, for me, purpose is that thing that drives you, the thing that basically defines why you've been put in, on earth, and what's the thing that drives you and motivates you on a daily basis.
Purpose for me, well, not for me actually. There's a universal explanation for purpose, I think. When something that you do at a particular time has almost nothing to do with you, that is purpose. Then at that moment you know you're living in your purpose. If it's serving the next person and somehow it glorifies God. Those two. 3. It has almost nothing to do with you. It's serving another person and it glorifies God. That is purpose.
Yeah, guys, as you have seen, there's a lot of definitions of what purpose is, and I think it's a very relative subject. For me, purpose means living a life of fulfillment, a life that is not self-centered. And yeah, so let me just tell you a bit more about my story. So I matriculated in 2015, and just before I matriculated in November, when I was done with my exams, I was really passionate about the whole crime that was happening in South Africa with young girls not being able to go to school because of sanitary pads, and I was just always going off about it on my social media pages. And then a good friend of mine, Colin, told me, you know what, Doratile, you're always talking about this, why don't we do something about it? So we decided to start our own sanitary pads initiative called Pads for Pride, and it was very well received. A whole lot of people donated, a whole lot of people wanted to be on board, so we collected sanitary pads and donated it to young girls who were struggling every time they were on their periods. Because the truth is that even now in 2019, there's a whole lot of girls who skip school when they're on their periods simply because they cannot afford to, and you find them in homes whereby the parents would much rather pay for a maize meal as opposed to pads. So I was really passionate about that, and seeing that it was very well received, it really gave me a sense of purpose, because for the longest of time I didn't really know how to navigate through life. Anyway, long story short, I matriculated in 2015. I was very excited, very excited. I told everyone on social media that I've been accepted at NWU, I'm moving to Matric, I'm going to be living on my own, the whole excitement. And then I also got a scholarship at UWC, and my parents said we should rather opt for that because then it means they would have to pay a cent. So then we went to UWC to register for my course, and then my sponsors kept on postponing as to when they'll be sending the money, and we waited, and I ended up telling my parents, like, guys, let me just go to NWU, register and get this done, because time is passing and registrations will be closing. So they were like, no, you want us to spend money, what. I'm like, okay guys, it's fun. Just as time was going by, my parents also thought, okay, you know what, these people are taking too long, let us just go to Matric to register. I went to Matric to register, and guess what, my course was full. So I was forced to either take a course that I didn't want, whatever that was available, or to find another alternative. So the next plan was for me to go to varsity college, went there to register for BCom law, but then again I thought about it and I'm like, no, I'm not really good at numbers and I don't want to do something for the sake of me just going to school. So that's when I decided to take a gap year, and yeah, just to find myself and really find the opportunity. Of course it was very embarrassing because a lot of people would see me around and they'd ask, how didn't you say you're going to Matric, shouldn't you be in university and whatnot. So then I had a bit of introspection, sat down with myself and said, okay, I don't want to be just sitting at home not doing anything for the whole year, so maybe I could, focus on other societal issues in the country in terms of my Pets for Pride initiative. So that's when Pets for Pride turned into Queen Mentality, my baby today. So with Queen Mentality, at first it was a women empowerment organization, but now we have moved to become a faith-based community development and youth development organization where we really just do our part to give back to the less privileged, to just doing our part to help those who are in need. That's something I'm very, very passionate about, and doing everything that I was doing with Queen Mentality, that is when I really found my purpose. That is when I found my fulfillment. My fulfillment is in giving back to those who lack. It is serving others. It is really just living a life that is full of giving. So with that whole journey of life, it was really not nice because a lot of people didn't understand what I was doing. A lot of people didn't understand where I was going with this whole NGO thing, because the truth is, when you have your own NGO, there's no money coming in, you don't get any salary. It's really just you giving yourself over to other people. So for a whole lot of stuff with Queen Mentality, I've had to use my own money, but it's a very good feeling that it gives me. It's not, I've never once given to other people and felt like, oh, I really shouldn't have spent my own money. It always leaves me more fulfilled. So I just want to share a few tips with you guys, on your journey of finding yourself, of navigating your purpose and whatnot, because on every journey there are a few detours and whatnot. So I'd like to share a few tips with you guys. Okay, so a few things that I have learned since I started my NPO. First things first is support won't always come where you expect it to come from. That was the hard truth that I had to accept. I remember when I launched my organization, a lot of the people who came to the launch were people I had never met before. It was people that I had on my Facebook, but I hadn't met before. So it was, to a certain extent, it was very disappointing because I thought those who were closest to me would be there, but it was mostly people that I didn't know. And that's the truth of life. In every aspect of your life, you hardly find those closest to you being at the forefront of supporting you. But the reality of it is, it's okay. People don't owe you their support. People don't owe you to be, cheerleading you on. At the end of the day, you're not doing it for other people. If you're doing it for other people, then it's going to be your problem. But people don't owe you your support. Just do what you feel that God has called you to. If people support you, that's awesome. If they don't, it's also fine. But don't beat yourself up when people don't support you, and don't cut people off just because they don't support you. It's something that I almost did. I felt like, oh, people are not supporting me. Oh, people in my life are fake friends and whatnot. But the truth is, people have their own lives. They have their own things that they're focusing on, and they can't always, be cheering you on. Some others support you from a distance without you having to do it. So the second thing that I have learned is people may copy you, but they can never execute it like you. I've had a whole lot of people trying to, do everything that I do, but today those people are not around. Like, I remember when I started Pets for Pride, there was this young girl who said she looks up to me, I inspire her and whatnot, and then next day she started her own Pets for Pride and called it Pets for Africa, with literally the same poster, same concept, same whatever. But I think it's okay when people think that they can do something, it's fine, that's on them. But at the end of the day, God has given me a purpose. He has given me a vision that I'm going to run with. If other people want to copy me, it's fine, but they can never ever execute it like I do, because that is my own intelligence, that is my own thing that I've been called to do. And then the third thing is that there is no competition in charity work. That's one thing that I've learned as well, because I remember when I was doing Pets for Pride, it was at a point where everyone was also doing this whole sanitary pad collection and donation thing, and a lot of people were like, yo, people are stealing your idea. But it wasn't my idea. I wasn't the first person to implement Pets for Pride. right? And for me, honestly, there is no competition in giving back. If there's more people doing, charity work, then it's good. That means other people are being, impacted. Other people are being helped. And then the other thing is have your why. Why are you doing it? Are you doing it because you want to have the title of being a founder of Queen Mentality? Are you doing it to be in newspaper articles, to be featured on radio and whatnot? Like, or have your why, because your why is what will keep you going when the going gets tough. Like when it becomes difficult, when you're all burnt out, when you feel like, oh my gosh, I can't do this anymore. Your why will keep you going. The reason why you're doing it is what will keep you moving forward, regardless of what details, regardless of what tribulations you may face, right? And then the other thing is, don't do it for the appraisal. This is very important. I remember when I was doing my whole thing with Queen Mentality, I was not getting any recognition. And then I remember, like, I'm being vulnerable. It was not a nice thing, but there was this one girl who had started her own NPO, but they weren't doing much. It was just an NPO, posting quotes and whatnot. And then she got featured in magazines, was getting radio features and all these things. And I had Queen Mentality for a few years and nothing, and I was like, but God, I've been doing this for so long, but I'm not getting any features, I'm not getting any articles written about me. So I was very bitter about that, until God set me down and said, you know what, you're not doing this for the appraisals, you're not doing this for people to applaud you and say, yay, you're doing a great job. And my time came. There was a point whereby people started seeing what I was doing. I've been featured on countless magazines, newspapers, radios, TVs. I've had awards. Like just recently, I was awarded as the top 100 young Mandelas of the future, the top 100 shining stars of South Africa, and all these things. And even though it's great to get recognition and it also gets your work out there, but don't do it for the sake of getting the appraisals, because when the appraisals don't come, what is your life? Like, are you now gonna stop working because people are not recognizing what you're doing? So yeah, guys, don't do it for the appraisals. And then the last but most important thing is to make God the center of it all, because He is the one who gave you your purpose, and you can always run to Him to get back to the drawing board. Because so many times when we do certain things, we lose our way, and you need to go back to God and say, okay, God, I've fumbled, I don't know what to do, where to from here. I've had a lot of stuff that I've had to cancel that I was doing for Queen Mentality, because it was not in the vision that God had for me. I remember there was a point whereby I was doing stuff for Queen Mentality because that was what every other NPO was doing, like hosting women's events and all these things, until God set me down and said, let's go back to the vision that I gave you. When I gave you Queen Mentality, it was for you to give back. I started Queen Mentality giving back to other people in terms of the Pairs for Pride initiative, and that is the heart of my organization, that is the heart of my being. So I had to go back to the drawing board and really do what God has called me to. That's why certain things I've had to put on a halt until God tells me that, okay, it's time for you to implement this once again. I've had to, cancel the Girl Talk gatherings, the Girl Talk sessions, the Women in Business networking events, because it was, even though the concept was great and it was amazing, but it was not in line with the vision that God has given me. So yeah, guys, I'm not going to make this a long video, just wanted to share that with you. I hope this has been helpful. I hope that you will learn from my journey. And you know what, guys, sometimes people will not understand what you have been called for, but if you truly believe in your heart of hearts that God has called you for this, then just run with it. Those who don't get it will catch up with you when you have reached your point of destination. And yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, please press that subscribe button, and let's do the things. Please share this with your friends, family members, your frenemies, everybody, and comment on the comment section if there's anything you want to share, and if there's anything else you want me to bring on the channel, let me know. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video.